Hello and welcome to Prepspot. In this video, we are going to know about an important current affairs development that has significant implications for social justice, governance, and the overall socio-economic landscape of India. The Indian government's recent directive on birth registration, which mandates a new deadline for obtaining a birth certificate. This new policy, announced in early 2025, has garnered widespread attention from media outlets, policy analysts, and citizens alike, as it aims to ensure that every newborn in the country is registered within a specified period, thereby securing their legal identity and enabling access to a range of government services and welfare benefits. To begin with, let's understand why this directive is in the news. Birth registration is a fundamental aspect of governance and human rights, as it provides individuals with a legal identity, a critical requirement for accessing education, healthcare, voting rights, and social security benefits. Historically, India has faced challenges with delayed and incomplete birth registration, particularly in rural and underdeveloped regions. According to reports from international organizations like UNICEF, the birth registration rate in India has been suboptimal, with estimates suggesting that only around 70% of births were registered by 2019. This shortfall has had far-reaching consequences, including difficulties in proving age, accessing public services, and even issues related to inheritance and legal documentation. In response, the government has taken a bold step to set a new deadline, ensuring that every birth is registered within a specified timeframe, commonly set at 42 days from the date of birth. This move is part of a broader initiative to modernize India's civil registration system, enhance transparency, and promote inclusive development. The origins of this policy can be traced back to the long-standing challenges in the country's administrative system. For decades, delayed birth registrations have been a persistent issue due to a variety of factors such as lack of awareness, inadequate infrastructure, and bureaucratic hurdles. In many cases, cultural practices and socio-economic barriers have contributed to these delays. Recognizing the critical importance of timely birth registration, community leaders, non-governmental organizations, and international bodies have long advocated for reforms in the system. Over time, these demands have led to pilot projects and regional initiatives aimed at increasing registration rates, which ultimately paved the way for a comprehensive national policy. The decision to enforce a new deadline in early 2025 is the culmination of these efforts and reflects the government's commitment to achieving universal birth registration, thereby ensuring that every citizen is recorded from the moment of birth. Let's now delve into some of the key definitions and terminologies associated with this policy. A birth certificate is an official document issued by the government that records the details of a child's birth, including the date, place, and parentage. It serves as a fundamental legal identity document that is required for various administrative and legal purposes throughout an individual's life. The term scheduled caste or affirmative action might come up in related discussions about social justice, but in this context, our focus is on civil registration and legal identity. The new directive sets a clear deadline, typically 42 days after birth, for the registration process to be completed, which aligns with international standards observed in several countries. Additionally, the term Digital India is relevant here, as this initiative is part of the government's broader efforts to digitize public services and improve administrative efficiency. Looking at the figures and numerical data, the new deadline is a quantitative measure that directly addresses the previous lag in birth registrations. While exact numbers may vary by region, the goal is to achieve 100% registration coverage. For example, in some states where registration rates were as low as 60 to 70%, this directive is expected to trigger a significant improvement, ensuring that all children are legally recognized within the stipulated 42-day period. Moreover, with the effective date set for 1 January 2025 and full compliance expected by the end of the first quarter of the year, this timeline provides a clear roadmap for implementation across all states and union territories. The numerical target is not only a benchmark for administrative success but also a critical metric for assessing progress in social inclusion and access to public services. From a technical standpoint, the implementation of this new deadline involves several operational measures and advanced technological interventions. The government is leveraging digital platforms to streamline the registration process. Under the Digital India initiative, online portals and mobile applications have been enhanced to allow parents to register births electronically, reducing the need for cumbersome paperwork and in-person visits to government offices. These digital systems are integrated with national databases, ensuring that birth certificates are issued promptly and that the information is securely stored for future use. Additionally, training programs are being conducted for local administrative officials to improve the accuracy and efficiency of the registration process. The integration of technology with traditional administrative practices is expected to minimize errors, reduce delays, and ultimately help achieve the goal of universal birth registration. Understanding the general know-how and broader implications of this directive is essential for competitive exam aspirants. This policy not only addresses the administrative challenges of birth registration but also has significant socio-economic benefits. When every child is registered, it ensures that they have a legal identity, which is crucial for accessing education, healthcare, and government welfare schemes. This, in turn, contributes to a more inclusive society where all citizens have the opportunity to participate fully in the economic and social life of the nation. The directive also supports better policy planning and resource allocation, as accurate demographic data is critical for effective governance. By improving the registration system, the government aims to reduce the number of missing children in official records, thereby enhancing the delivery of services and support to marginalized communities. The strategic importance of this directive cannot be overstated. In a country as populous and diverse as India, ensuring that every individual is accounted for from birth is a fundamental aspect of social justice. It lays the groundwork for a more equitable distribution of resources and helps to mitigate the long-term effects of systemic discrimination and neglect. Additionally, in the context of competitive exams, this topic is relevant because it touches upon key aspects of governance, public policy, and social welfare, all of which are important components of the current affairs syllabus. Candidates need to understand the legal and administrative frameworks that underpin such initiatives, as well as the challenges and opportunities associated with implementing them on a national scale. Furthermore, the policy reflects a proactive approach by the Indian government to modernize its civil registration system. By setting a strict deadline and leveraging digital technology, the government is not only addressing past shortcomings but also paving the way for a more efficient and transparent administrative framework. This is particularly important in the context of India's rapid demographic growth and the increasing demand for public services. The move is expected to have a long-term positive impact on the country's governance, enabling more effective planning and implementation of development programs. For competitive exam aspirants, it is important to note how such initiatives fit within the broader framework of India's digital transformation and efforts to improve public service delivery. In terms of location, the directive applies uniformly across all states and union territories of India, with particular emphasis on areas that have historically had lower rates of birth registration. Rural and remote regions, which have traditionally faced infrastructural and logistical challenges, are expected to benefit the most from the digitalization of the registration process. The policy has been rolled out with significant support from state governments and local administrative bodies, all working under the aegis of the Ministry of Home Affairs and the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. The collaborative effort ensures that the new deadline is not just a central mandate but is implemented effectively at the grassroots level. Key figures involved in the rollout include high-ranking government officials and ministers who have championed the cause of digital governance. Prominent leaders in the Digital India initiative have emphasized the importance of universal birth registration as a cornerstone of inclusive development. Official press releases and government notifications have provided detailed guidelines on the new process, outlining the responsibilities of various departments and the technological infrastructure in place to support the initiative. Reliable sources such as reports from UNICEF, the World Bank, and national statistical agencies have been instrumental in highlighting the gaps in birth registration and the expected benefits of the new deadline. In conclusion, the Indian government's issuance of a new deadline for obtaining a birth certificate is a landmark policy initiative with far-reaching implications for social justice, governance, and economic planning. This directive, which mandates that every birth must be registered within 42 days, is a critical step towards ensuring that all citizens are accounted for from the moment of birth. By leveraging digital technologies and streamlining administrative processes, the policy aims to achieve universal birth registration, thereby enhancing access to education, healthcare, and other welfare benefits. For competitive exam aspirants, this topic offers a comprehensive case study that encompasses legal, technical, socio-economic, and administrative dimensions. It illustrates how government initiatives can drive social change and improve public service delivery in a rapidly evolving digital landscape. As you prepare for your exams, consider the multiple facets of this policy, from its historical origins and technical details to its broader implications for inclusive development, and recognize its significance as a step forward in building a more equitable society. Answer this question in comments. The correct answer will be given heart and pinned. Lastly, we just want to let you know that we are a newly emerging online platform for competitive exams. Creating educational explainer videos like these requires a lot of effort, money, and time. If you like these videos and want us to excel and create videos in all categories of competitive exams, then you can consider supporting us with a one-time donation through the Ko-fi platform and also by becoming a member through Patreon. This will help us create more such informative educational videos in the competitive exams space. So, one last time, subscribe and share this channel with all your friends who are preparing for competitive exams. And also, follow us on social media platforms. The links are given in the About section of the channel and also in the video description. So, see you in the next video.